Let's have each of our experts answer that briefly, starting with our energy expert.
Suggest you define it for everybody.
Define renewable energy?
Define what the RPS is.
RPS. Great.
The renewable energy standard for the state of Michigan will mandate that the utilities will generate 10% of their electric energy, not power. That means electric kilowatt hours per year from renewables. And renewables are defined as biomass, wind, municipal solid waste, etc. The list is long, okay? So that's very important. But I think the question, that's an RPS, it's meant to 10% by 2015. And there's also a component to it, 5.5% of energy efficiency by the same time mandate was 2015. And I think the question was related to the cost. Is that what I recall?
I believe so.
Yes. And the cost, there's a period of 90 days that started October 6th once the governor has signed it. And I too also agree that this governor has pushed very hard to have the RPS get passed by the legislator in the state of Michigan. It took about 18 months for the dialogue. The reality is there's going to be cost-effective 90 days from the start, which is October 6th, whereby the residentials will pay about $3 additional per meter, and then commercial will pay all the way up to some $187 per meter, and to pay for the cost of the added energy for the portfolio standard. But I think there's the details of that are still to be coming from the Michigan Public Service Commissioners.
Mark?
Yeah, I might acknowledge the governor today, in fact, issued an executive order creating the new Department of Energy, Labor and Economic Development to underscore her commitment to energy and renewables in Michigan. So that's happened just today. What it does has been pointed out, it establishes a bar for Michigan to be able to recruit the kind of technology and manufacturing facilities that's going to drive the economic recovery of Michigan in the future, perhaps similar to Proposal 2. So I think there's a strong case to be made that Michigan certainly has the infrastructure. It goes back to the situation in southeast Michigan right now with our automakers being able to transform themselves at the same time, perhaps to take advantage of these emerging technologies. Also, as we work to reduce our carbon footprint, I think it's an excellent thing to establish a high bar for us as a state, not only to be able to produce and manufacture those technologies that may be shipped globally, but we can also use them here in this state. There are some environmental issues related to renewables, specifically offshore wind. Right now, there's a lot of discussion going on in the Great Lakes region about, the thought of having these wind turbines some distance in the near shore or well offshore, and so certainly an issue. We talk about rehabilitating a number of dams to generate hydroelectricity, which I think would be qualified under a renewable portfolio standard. So for many years, we've actually been working to establish fish passage, reconnect our tributary habitat to the Great Lakes. So in some respects, if we're looking at hydro, there could be some environmental consequences related to that. As far as costs, I think there will also be costs that are transferred to the public to be able to embrace that green technology, and there'll be some offsets and some incentives. So I think it's a good thing.
Paul?
Well, looking at it from the economic side, we're talking in Michigan, a 10% RPS would be on the order of 5,000 to 10,000 more jobs in the state, and we're looking probably at no substantial change in electricity rates as a result of it.
Sir.
Yes, my question is directed primarily, at least, to Mr. Brewer, Mark Brewer, who I'm a little bit out of the current of Michigan politics, but I believe you're the state chairman of the Democratic Party. Is that correct?
Yes, I am, Judge.
And of course, former Congressman Schwartz is a former Republican member of the United States Congress, House of Representatives. My question is this, is directed to the energy situation. There's been commentary here on our university system and how excellent it is, and it is. We have, I believe, at least two that is University of Michigan and Michigan State University, who are both members of the American Association of Universities, which is restricted to the finest research institutions in the United States. We have at least two. I think perhaps Wayne State is included in that group as well. If that's true, then we have three, but at least two. Now, there's proposals. We talk about the energy situation and the necessity for research and development in that field. There's a proposal in Washington at the present time, it's been there for several years, about establishment of a super collider nuclear facility someplace in the United States. It's a facility that would cost initially at least $1 billion to construct and at least $100 million a year in funding, all funded by the federal government, not by the taxpayers of the state of Michigan. We've got one university in Michigan, that is Michigan State University, who's a contender for that project. And it's down to two universities. Massachusetts Institute of Technology has been disqualified, Caltech's been disqualified, Harvard's been disqualified, Princeton's been disqualified. We got two institutions left in the running for this project. One of them is the laboratories at the University of Chicago. I can't remember the name of the laboratory, but it's a nuclear laboratory at the University of Chicago. The other is the nuclear laboratories at Michigan State University.
So are you asking what each of their candidates might do to give us a shot?
That's exactly what I'm going to say. What is being done, and what are our Michigan congressional delegation doing? You got two United States senators here who are members of the party that apparently is likely to win the presidency this year. You've got members of the House with tremendous seniority basically on the Democratic side, but at least you've got very prominent members of both houses. Now,
brilliant question, but let me shape it so that each man has an opportunity to answer it. First of all, Mark, the gentleman has a very good point. Carl Levin is chair of the Senate Armed Services Committee. Would Michigan have a better chance, Michigan State, of getting that super collider under an Obama administration?
No, that's not my question at all.
Finish your...
It was very nice, but it wasn't my question.
You can finish your question rapidly.
My question, please.
If you can do it quickly.
What is your view as to what is being done by the Michigan congressional delegation to promote the interest in this project of Michigan State University, which is one of two institutions left in the running for the project?